this video, I will try to guide you through the activity misleading with the mean, median, and mode, or the averages. That's this sheet that you see on the screen. And there are a number of ways to respond to each of the questions on the sheet. And notice that there is a backside to this sheet. It does continue after number 7. But there are a number of ways to respond to this correctly. So for some students, that makes it somewhat challenging because there's not just one right answer. Your answers could be right, even though they could be very different from someone else's correct answers. There's a number of ways to do this. And that's really the big idea here, because average is such a vague word mathematically. When I say find the average, you're left to choose between doing a median average, the mode, or the mean average. Now, usually when we say average, we're referring to the mean, but that's not shouldn't be an assumed fact. We could mean any of those. So if Bart is trying to use this vague term average to mislead his friend Milhouse, he might say to Milhouse, the average age of the kids attending this event is 11 years old. Now let me share with you that Bart and Milhouse are 10 years old. And so it seems that Bart is saying, hey, it's not a bunch of babies at the event. There's a bunch of kids that are older than us. So the mean is 11. But let's see if there's a bunch of babies, or if Bart is using this word average to mislead Milhouse, or at least see how he may be misleading him. If the mode is 11, that means that there are more 11-year-olds than any other child. So the way that this activity works is we're going to fill in the ages, and they've got to be in order. And if the mode is 11, then I'm going to need 3 or more 11-year-olds. I'm just going to plop them down right here. Now I could fill in the other 3 ages with any numbers, as long as B and C are 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, and that they stay in order. And child I could be 11, or any number, any age under 99 and under. This could be, using the word child rather vaguely, could be a 99-year-old child, and so on. Make sure that when you do chart 2, that you're doing it in such a way that it's different from your chart number 1, but there are a number of different right ways to do this. Now, if I'm saying that the median is 11, that means that the number directly in the middle is 11. Well, the middle, since there's 10 children involved here, the middle is going to be between child E and F, so that there's 5 ages to the left and 5 ages to the right. And so there's a number of ways I could do this. I could put 11s on both sides, or I would also get a median of 11 if I put a 10 here and a 12 there. I could have a 10 and a 12. So either of those would work, either 2 11s or a 10 and a 12. And then these other ages are going to not matter at all as long as they are in the range. So this one has to simply be older than 25. It could be a 101-year-old attending. And these need to be greater than 10. So there are a number of ways that you could be right with this. The mean of 11 requires a little bit more thought, but let me walk you through this formula that the X bar, or the mean average, is going to be the quotient of the sum of all the ages and 10. Or in other words, I add up all the ages and divide by 10 to get the mean. What I could also do with this formula is say that the mean, in this case 11, times the total number of pieces of data, in this case there's 10 children has to add up to the sum of all the ages. So given that the mean is 11, I know that the sum is going to be 110 for both of these. So as long as all the numbers are in order from young to old, and as long as the total comes to 110, I'm going to be able to say that Bart is not lying when he says that the average age is 11. And then when you look back at those cases, you should be able to discuss a little bit about which one you feel is misleading. Again, if you know that Bart and Milhouse are 10, and you don't even have to know that, but if that might help you frame this. And Bart is trying to talk Milhouse into coming to the event saying, oh, the average age is 11. Which of those charts to you seems the most misleading? Bart isn't lying. If you filled out the charts correctly, he's telling the truth every time. But which one seems misleading? That he's not, it's almost, you could think of it as he's convincing Milhouse, hey, let's go. There's not a bunch of babies there. They're older than us. But he's also saying, hey, it's a bunch of kids that are close to our age, but maybe a little older, but close to our age. And if Milhouse shows up and finds out that everyone's the age of his grandparents and his parents, he's been misled. So look at your charts and see which one seems misleading and why. This next problem, number 9, just asks you to do the same thing, but we're looking at two cases. We've got Mike and Elle, two very stranger characters, and we can see who is misleading who. But Mike and 11, short for L, or L is short for 11. Mike and 11 are arguing about the average age of the kids at Dustin's party. So their friend Dustin has invited them to a party. There's 20 children at the party, and L says that the average age is 18, while Mike says, no, the average age is much younger than that, it's 12. So what you're asked to do is show a list of potential ages so that they're both right. Let me give you a little hint about this. You need the mean, the median, or the mode to be 12. And let's say that you let the median be 12. Now you just have to make it so that the mean or the mode is 18. So pick which average Mike is using. If he's saying that it's the mean average is 12, then you need to make sure that the mean comes out to 12. But I'd recommend that you not use the mean. I'd recommend that for the first piece that you're letting set it so that the median or the mode is 12. And then after that, write it so that the median or the mean is 18. I hope that helps you with this example, and feel free to reach out to me if you need more help with that. After you finish that, explain how Mike and Elle can both be telling the truth about the average age of the party and how is this misleading. The key here is that an average could be a mean, median, or mode. It could even be a mid-range, but we're going to stick with mean, median, and mode. I'm going to get started on just one of these. I'm going to say that the median age is going to be 12. So I'm going to put 12 clearly in the middle. And now I want the mode to be 18. So there's 4 12s, 1, 2, 3, 5 18s. These others don't matter. And We could put a bunch of babies. As long as we don't have more than 3, because 4 has to be the biggest number based on what I said here. Oh, it looks like that's not going to work, is it? I'm going to have to put them a little younger. They're going to have to start younger. So we could have an 11-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 10, a 9, an 8, a couple 8s, and a 7-year-old attending the party. And I've written an example where the median is 12 and the mode is 18. So both Mike and 11 are telling the truth. Well, I hope that helps you with this activity, and please feel free to reach out to me if you need further assistance.